Yeah. Hi James, just introduce yourself.
I'm James, I play Bournemouth, played football since about 5.
You're at Berlin School, obviously.
Yeah, Berlin School.
What's your candidate number?
6150.
Had to think there, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay, you've just observed performance. Can you just comment on the strengths and weaknesses you've observed?
Yeah, I observed Jack Woods. By looking at him, I can tell he's an associative learner. He's comfortable on the ball, and he's more advanced than a cognitive learner. Does things a cognitive learner can do, but I wouldn't say he's an autonomous learner. Strength-wise, skills, he's very good at tackling. He didn't dive in, he kept his eye on the ball. Also shooting, kept his eye on the ball when he was shooting, got his head over the ball and followed through. He scored about 3 out of 5 shots. His awareness is very good also. He's very aware of other teammates and opposition. Anticipated passes before it came to him. Very aware of his surroundings. Tactically, his decision making was good. He knows which types of passes to play and when to play them. Also, he knew when to commit to a challenge. Positional play was very good also. He knows when to hold his position, also how to find space on the pitch. Fitness-wise, his strengths of fitness were cardiovascular fitness. He managed to play the whole game at a fairly high tempo, which is good. He wasn't out of breath at all. And also muscular endurance. You could tell he has good body. He's obviously a mesomorph. He takes care of himself.
Weaknesses?
Yeah, weaknesses. Skill-wise, his passing. Both short and long passes were sometimes cut out and misplaced and sometimes short. Heading also as well. A few times when the ball was near him in the air, he attempted to jump ahead of the ball, but he didn't run header. I think height could play a role in this as well because he's fairly small. Tactically, his man marking was fairly poor. He found it hard to man mark, especially from set pieces. The man often got away from him, and once his team conceded a goal because of this. Fitness-wise, his strength. Although he's very good at tackling, he found it hard to shield the ball and he often got out-muscled in tackles, and this didn't help him. Speed as well, he was very slow, he didn't have the pace to accelerate away from players or to players, and as a result he didn't get to the ball as many times as he should have. Main weaknesses, I prioritise speed and passing. I think speed is essential for a footballer, especially centre mid, because he needs to be able to get away from the player and also get to the ball before other players. Passing is well essential for centre mid, but he needs to be good at short and long passes to be able to spread the play and also keep possession.
Good.
Coaching points for passing, head over the ball, don't lean back unless you're really long pass, but yeah, you try to keep your head over the ball. Also good balance and posture. For this you put your arms out to the side, this will help you balance. Also communication, both visually and verbally. For passing you should look at and talk to the person you're passing to. You can also do this when you're receiving a pass. Also need a good firm standing planted leg. This helps stabilise you when you're passing. It should be kept still for the whole movement. And also good follow through. This helps with a clean strike. The action plan. Time scale, I do it over 6 weeks. I train 4 times a week with 3 days rest to allow the body to recover. I also incorporate a good diet as well. This will help immensely. I use the FIT principle to help with my action plan. So frequency, I do it 4 times a week, like I said, 3 days of rest. Intensity, I do each session will be very intense, so there's rest periods in between, so this will be, I think, will be most beneficial. Time, I measure when the activity is complete. And type, I do sprint training for speed and specific passing drills for passing. To ensure this training is progressive, I'll change the practice slightly every 2 weeks. And before I start a training programme, I'll have a test and also end of week 3 and end of week 6 to see if there's any progression made. For the test for speed, I do 30 metre sprint test. I think this would be the most appropriate, as in football you don't run the whole length of the pitch, it's short bursts. And passing, for the passing test, I pass the ball between 2 cones a metre apart, and if we stand 20 metres, or Jack will be standing 20 yards away, and see how many you can get it through the cones in a minute.
Yep.
This will measure the accuracy of passing, which is very important for centre mid. The actual action plan, for speed, the first 2 weeks I'll do 8 times halfway line. I do this in boots and on a football pitch to make it realistic. Between each sprint I would have 30-second rest. And week 3 and 4 I'll do the same realistic conditions, but for progression I would do box to box instead, so a slightly longer distance. I'll also do this 8 times. In week 5 and 6 I'll progress it slightly more and do the full pitch 8 times. I'd keep the realistic conditions and the pitch will be easy to measure it. For passing, week 1 and 2, just simply I'll just pass the ball between 2 cones, which would be 15 yards away. Start a single cone, which would be easy to measure. Then week 3 and 4, the same conditions, but progress to passing the ball through the cones from 30 yards away, an extra 15 yards, so this will be harder, as you have to be more accurate. And week 5 and 6, I progress it, so I add an extra 15 yards, so the total distance now 45 yards. And 15 yards added each time makes it easy to set up and measure, and progression is shown as the performer will have to increase the accuracy of his passing. This will help improve his technique also.
Okay. What's the opportunities for participation and progression in football? Obviously you're at Bournemouth, as you said,
Yeah.
So you've experienced slightly different. Just talk a little bit about that around here.
Well, if you're good, you can play for the school, and if you're good enough, you can move on to the district, such as St Albans, and then progress to the county level, so Hertfordshire, Kent, things like that. And then if you're good enough, you can even represent your country, like England, so regional. And also you can play for leisure, so there are many teams, so Sunday League teams such as same as Rangers, Harvesters, also five-a-side such as like Power League, and also play with the park with your friends. Companies like Grassroots help with all these schemes, and also companies like UK Sport help fund them and encourage kids to participate in them.
Yep.
Also locally, there's many gyms such as Nuffield Health, Body Limits, Fitness First, and many gyms in the area. These allow the performer to keep fit and to keep on top of their training. Also many shops around this area such as JD Sport, Sports Direct, they've got their equipment. There's also many online as well.
Why do you think football's so popular?
I think football's so
Quite
popular.
cheap, isn't it, to do?
Yeah, it's quite cheap to do. Like, it's easy. You don't need many resources. You can even put even at a park, you put like 2 jumpers down as a goal.
Yeah.
And there's many local parks people can play at, and you can hire out pitches if you want.
Is St Albans quite a big area for football? Is it? Obviously, in terms of like local clubs, big clubs.
Yeah, there's many big clubs. Such as like St Albans City is a big club that helps kids from like a young age, such as 7. They train as Harvesters, and there's clubs for like every level as well, like such as like Bournemouth, and also less clubs like St Albans Rangers. There's loads of clubs whichever level you're at.
What about like Tottenham and Arsenal and post that? Do kids around here access them?
Yeah, if you're good enough, the academies will come in for you. There's like Centre of Excellence, like Watford is involved in. It's involved with Verulam actually. The Centre of Excellence, so if you're good enough, you can go from Verulam onto Watford.
Yeah.
And also, likewise, other academies such as Arsenal and Luton. There's loads of academies around here.
What's the health and fitness benefits of football? Obviously, there's lots, but
there's social, mental fitness. Socially, you make new friends, meet people, and socialise with their clubs. And often, many good clubs, most clubs actually they go on tours like once a year. This helps kids socialise, bring them together.
Yeah.
And mentally, it helps relieve stress of like if they're working, school. Also, lets them overcome mental challenges.
Yep.
Plus as well, if they're good at football, they'll get a lot of praise as well. So this will increase their esteem immensely, which can help in most things in life. And fitness-wise, many benefits like respiratory system, it helps as well, increase alveoli, cardiovascular system, so heart hypertrophy. This helps reduce like diseases such as heart angina and coronary heart disease. Also muscle hypertrophy, helps lower blood pressure. Also reduces the risks of disease in bone and joint disease in later life, such as osteoarthritis and osteoporosis. And also reduces the chance of obesity and just really helps everyday life, really.
Okay, thank you.